Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 10:25 p.m. on this absolutely gorgeous, beautiful Saturday evening going into Sunday. It is currently, I was going to say it's currently 10:25 p.m., but I just said that. It is 76 degrees outside. Oh, it just dropped. 75 degrees outside. And I am currently uploading my drama video. I have had so much trouble trying to get this video uploaded today. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go upload this. Well, and I'm not gonna just sit here because, you know, like my grandma used to say back in the day, a watch pot never boils. And I am going to go vlog the first half of my vlog, and then I'll come back, and I haven't decided yet if I'm going to post it because it'll be like 11 o'clock when I post it, which is really late to post a drama video. But I'm like, you know, who knows? Maybe that's a good time to post a video. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I get home. I filmed videos on all of my channels today. I had a blast. And it's just been a really, really good day. Alex had to work and do some stuff this morning, and then he came home and he had to do some more stuff when he got home. So, and then we hung out for a little bit in between me filming videos. And he got so tired. I said, do you mind if I film like another, I think I was filming my Peterisms video. I said, do you mind if I film a video down here? And he was like, no. He said, I'm gonna lay down for a little bit anyway. And that was, I can't remember, that was like early evening. And he has been asleep ever since. He is so tired. He actually just got up. I was on Audible buying books. I know. But I was on Audible and I was looking around, and I ended up buying more credits and buying more books. And I bought the second Charlie Davidson book in the Dorinda Jones series. And then I bought Dorinda Jones' book that is coming out, which is called A Good Day for Chardonnay. It's the second book in the Bad Day for Sunshine series. And I bought that book. That's 2 of 4 books that I bought. Another book is called Rabbits. And it's supposed to be about like gamers and stuff like that, like the ultimate game. And it's nothing I would typically read, but I thought, for some reason, this sounds really good. So I got that. And then I can't remember what the 4th book was. Oh, the 4th book was the James Patterson, which I hardly ever read him anymore. But it was a book that he wrote with Bill Clinton called The President's Daughter is Missing. And I think that's what it's called. And a couple years ago when I was, when Alex and I went to Connecticut, because Alex had a conference there that he was going to, I read, while we were on that trip, I read The President is Missing with President Clinton and James Patterson, and really enjoyed it. It was more thoroughly researched, the characters were more developed, and I really liked that book. And I think this is the second one in that, I wouldn't necessarily call it a series, but I think it's the second one like in that, well, I guess you could call it a series. James Patterson writes series about the same character, so I think it's the same characters. So I got that book as well. Yeah, it's just been a good day. I've been like on my front porch a lot, on my back porch a lot, watering plants, hanging out. One of the reasons why my video is getting up so late is because it was having upload problems, and I wasn't aware of that because I was standing in the driveway talking to one of my neighbors that lives down the street, and she had gotten a new puppy. So we were talking about her new puppy, and then she was just like filling me in all the kids' stuff and what they're doing for the summer and all that. And we were just kind of talking. She's exactly my age, and Alex and I, she and her daughter, so her daughter's like, God, this is making me feel old. Her daughter's like a junior in college now, and they were walking down the street. I bet it was 10, 11 years ago. So her daughter at the time would have been like 10, maybe. And they were just like, hi, how are you? And so we started talking to them, and was that like 10 years ago? God, it seems like it was just yesterday. But anyway, so we started talking to her and her daughter, and then we just became really friendly with them. And then for a couple years, she and her kids would come up to the pool, and I would talk to her and talk about books, and so, you know, just stuff. And we just talk we could literally talk forever. We stood out there and talked for almost an hour. So, she's actually like outside in the neighborhood, like in a house. But because the house is on the lake that is part of our community, they like pay HOA fees. You know what, I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I have this coffee over here too that's still filled from earlier today. They pay HOA fees, and then they get to use the pool and the tennis courts and all that, and they get the lake usage and all that kind of stuff. She's really nice. She and her husband are fantastic. And so yeah, I just stood outside and talked. It was like, I just have so much fun in summer. I mean, the kids in the neighborhood, not her kids, because her kids are grown now. They're not grown, but like, she has 4 kids. Her 3 boys, well, one's in 8th grade and the other 2 are in high school, and then her daughter's in college. But anyway, there were kids in the neighborhood outside of our neighborhood that were driving around in golf carts tonight, and they were like, had the music, oh, what's going on with my camera? The music blasting on the golf carts, and they were like driving around the neighborhood and stuff, and people were night swimming. I was gonna go for a night swim, and I didn't end up doing that. I used my whole can of Coke, or Diet Coke in here, but Diet Coke, not sponsored. And so anyway, it just was like a perfect summer night. I was sitting on the porch and waiting for this upload to be done when she walked by, and we just started talking, and then I kind of forgot about my video. Well, I had been posting videos all day long. I've been like filming, posting all day long. And so I was just like, during breaks, I would sit out on the front porch and I would read, or just like talk to neighbors that walked by. I felt like I talked to a lot of neighbors today. She is so hilarious and so funny. So anyway, we were talking about, because we're the exact same age, we were talking about, I think I said that already, like back in the day, you know, the kids now, like what did she say? It's to get your license. She was telling me about her boys getting their licenses, and she said it's 16 and a half, but then like that first year, first 6 months or something, you're supposed to like, you're supposed to drive, like just with like one other person in the car by yourself or something. I can't remember what she said. You guys probably know the laws better than I do, and here in the United States. But I said, do you remember when we were in high school? And she's like, oh yeah. I said, we got our license on the day I think it was the day that you turned 16, wasn't it? Or was it like the end of the month or something? Because you had to have like, take driver's ed and have your permit before, which I had taken in like when I was like 15. I remember because I took it the summer before I was gonna be 16. I think when I turned 15, I started taking driver's ed. I think, or do you have to be 15 and a half? I can't remember. But I took it, and I had like, I think there was like one maybe other person with me at times, but there was this teacher, and I remember he was such an ass. And, you know, he would sit on that side, and he would say like, I put a cup of coffee up here on the dashboard, and if the coffee spills, then you fail. And I was so nervous. And he just, I'm just joking, whatever. And I mean, I would drive like this at first. And so anyway, I don't remember, I think it's the day you turned 16, back in the day. You could get your license that day. All I know is we didn't wait any year, 6 months or any 16 and 6 months. It was like the day. It was around like my birthday. If not that day, around that day. And I remember, I can remember going and taking my driver's test, and I was so excited that I passed my license and got my license that day and stuff. And we didn't have to wait to have friends in the car. I remember I took my mom's car out that night and drove around and stuff. It was fun. So, you know what's funny is, so my second car was stick, and like all my cars were hand-me-downs, and my second car was stick, and it was a Mitsubishi Montero, and my friends loved it. And it was so fun. It was like a 2-door Mitsubishi Montero, like, you know, like little boxy Jeep. And I actually had a blue one that was a hand-me-down that was my dad's. That was like, the fact that it was still going was like crazy. And I was like, Dad, please let me drive that car. Please let me drive the car. He had like driven it like forever, right? And so I got that car as a hand-me-down. And then the car died because I drove it. Oh, no. That's the car that I spun on black ice one winter morning on the way to my mom's house from my dad's house to go to school. And I totaled that car. And then I got a white Mitsubishi Montero that had been a demo and at the dealership. So like it was like a deal car. And but I did not know how to drive stick, right? And so my dad tried to take me in this Montero and drive stick. And I was such a nervous wreck. And I was like, you know, like, I mean, when you start driving stick, I wonder if today, if I could do it. I feel like I could, but I mean, I'd have to have somebody like kind of say to me, this is, you do this, this, and this. And then I think like right away it would all come back to me. But, I remember a friend of mine was with me from high school and sitting in the back seat, and my dad was like, you're killing the clutch, you're killing, and he got like, he was like really stressed out about it, and I didn't know what to do, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be able to drive this car. And I remember I was like so upset about it. I told my mom, and my mom was like, I will teach you to drive stick, it will be fine. My mom, actually, her and her best friend Diane, my mom, like after college and whatever, she went and bought, like on the south side of Indianapolis, she bought a used MG. Do you guys know what an MG is? I have a different hat on tonight. Anybody notice? This one says dumb donkey. You get it? Anyway, my mom said that she bought this car with cash, and it was like such like a piece of junk, you know, that it would hardly move it. She wanted a convertible so bad. So she said that she, and she wanted this like, this, what did I call it? A GM? No, what are they called? MG? What are they called? You know, those old, anyway, whatever I called it, I can't remember. But she said that she and her friend Diane, my mom taught herself how to drive stick. She had no idea how. And so from the south side of Indianapolis to like Broad Ripple, where she lived at that time, she just like, the car like died and died on the interstate, died. And my mom at that time would drive on the interstate. She later was afraid to drive on the interstate, but it would like go die, go die, go die. Little MG, that's what it was. And well, my mom said by the time that she got to the north side of Indianapolis, she knew how to drive stick. So I remember she took me to my elementary school, Mohawk Trails Elementary School, parking lot, and she taught me how to drive in that parking lot too. Like she taught me how to drive, just drive in a car. And she was so relaxed. My mom was such a nervous person about things, and I remember she was just like, go here, go there, go here, go there. And so yeah, my mom was the one that taught me how to drive, and she was the one that taught me how to drive stick too. Which is so funny looking back, because she, like I said, she was so nervous about stuff, you know. Anyway, what was I gonna say about all that, driving cars? So we were talking about that, and I was just like thinking back about like when I finally made friends in high school, how much fun like summer was and stuff, you know. Oh God, we used to have so much fun in the summer. I feel like I just ran the whole time when I was in high school. I mean, that's kind of like, what, isn't that what you do? Where's my lip balm? Anyway, those summer nights back in the day, getting slushies. You know, it's interesting because, so I drank a lot in high school and, you know, other things I shouldn't have been doing, but there were a lot of nights that we didn't drink or do anything bad, you know? I mean, there were a lot of nights that we did. But there were a lot of nights that we just got together and watched movies, or just drove around, or, you know, went to somebody's house and hung out. Just like our group of friends, our small group of friends. God, it's so funny. I honestly kind of can't remember a lot of what I did. Well, not my sophomore year, because I wasn't that close with my friends yet, but definitely my senior year. I stayed at my dad's house a lot that summer before my senior year. And my friends would come out because my dad lives on a lake and has a pool and stuff. So we would like swim in the pool. I'd take my friends out on the boat so they could go, you know, skiing and tubing and stuff. And we just kind of hang out at my dad's house. And my dad would be like, I'm grilling out. You guys want steaks? And everybody would be like, yeah. So those were fun nights, fun days, you know, when I was growing up. And then I remember going over to my friend's house a lot. You know, I had my two of my closest friends were twins, and they had a pool. And I don't actually remember going to the pool a lot, like their pool. I remember a couple times, but I don't remember like swimming in their pool a whole lot. I don't honestly know what we did a lot in the summer. We always said we were going to take summer school early, or take summer school to get stuff done early. I feel like I did one year. Now I'm like, I've been taking that ginkgo biloba or whatever that stuff is. It's some kind of mix of that. It's supposed to help your like brain function higher and remember things more. And I feel like it's working against me. I do. I feel like I'm like remembering less as I've been taking it. I don't know. I don't feel like it's working for me at all. So yeah, summer nights. God, love them. Slushies. We went out to eat a lot. That's one thing that we did when I was in high school. We went out to eat a lot at different restaurants. But that seems like more like on the high school, like on the weekends during school that we would do that. I really don't know what we did in the summer. It seems so bizarre. We could do little road trips around, you know, to places in Indianapolis. Oh, well, I do know. Okay, we would do, there was, so in Indiana, in Carmel, was it Carmel or is it, it's more like Zionsville, there was this screaming bridge that apparently, supposedly this couple were killed on like years and years and years ago, and you could hear their screams if you went over the bridge with your lights off or something like that. We would always be doing stuff like that, you know, going to scary haunted places. We did a lot of that kind of stuff, always trying to find scary haunted places and stuff, you know what I mean? But the other thing is that, so my friend group kind of changed. I mean, it shifted from my sophomore year to my junior year to my senior year. So my sophomore year, there was like 6 or 8 of us that were all friends. Then my junior year, it was like 2 of my friends kind of went off and did their own thing. And they were always kind of like part of our group, and then part of like what they thought was the popular group, but what wasn't. And they were always very concerned about their reputation and things like that, you know, and their reputation by meaning that it probably wasn't good for their reputation to be hanging out with a bunch of freaks like us. So, which, you know, at the time I look back on that and it's rather hurtful. And I actually had a couple friends too that were in marching band, and they were really busy doing, I had a friend that did, I had 2 friends that did rifles and flags. And then one of my friends was a percussionist. Another one of my friends played clarinet in the marching band. Those 2 friends of mine were in orchestra with me as well. And so they were really busy with marching band in the summer. And then, so then I had 2 other friends that, yeah, they were like always off kind of doing other stuff. I'd say like half of my friends had jobs in the summer. My one friend, she worked from like 10th grade all the way through every single night of the week at Burger King. She was a manager by the time that she was like a senior at Burger King. She had worked there so much. She was like 18 or 19. I think she was like 19 when she graduated. And, so then that was my sophomore year that we were all, like that second semester is when I kind of like got to know everybody really well and was close with them, you know, exchanging notes and just like, I felt part of something. Then my junior year, like after a summer of hanging out with those, you know, my girlfriends that summer, and then like fall and whatever, towards the end of the fall, like it kind of changed a little bit. And I had been really, really good friends with one girl, the twin, and then she started dating somebody. And my other friend, the one that I went to elementary, or kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, college, graduate school with, she started dating somebody too, and they were both in bands. So they were constantly going to, like band practice, where they would just sit there for hours while these guys just like, you know, played whatever, you know. What's that called? They just jammed. They never really had any shows. I actually remember what their bands are called and everything. Isn't that so funny? Well, my one friend, so I know he's not part of this band anymore because this band is so, it was called Primitive Infinity. I don't know how I remember that. The other band, I don't remember what it was called, but anyway, I feel like I knew so many people that were in bands in high school that weren't really bands, but they always said they were in a band, you know? And then it's funny because maybe bands are different today, but like Alex watched that. Does he still watch it? I don't know. Riverdale, where like Josie and the Pussycat Dolls are on there, you know, and they're always like so serious about their singing like deals and, you know, dates that they have. And I'm like, okay, like that's not really like bands in high school. Like bands are really not that serious. Like they might do like, you know, Battle of the Bands like at the end of high school or whatever, but like it's never like they just get together and they jam and they always act like, you know, we have to have band practice. It's always real serious, you know. And then so that was my junior year. The end of my junior year and then the first part of my senior year, I was better friends with her twin sister. And then we had my friend that played the clarinet, and it was like the three of us were really close. And then my friend that plays the clarinet, she and I have the same birthday. She's a year behind me, or played the clarinet. She lives in Portland now. But and the other thing was that like my friends, like I would say like my first 2 years of high school were kind of very punk rock, and like towards the end of high school they became kind of hippie-ish. Definitely I would say the last couple months of high school, and then definitely in college they became very hippie-ish. And if you went to IU, all of my friends lived at Collins in high school. Well, with the exception of like 2. But then my friend that watches the vlog on here, hey girl, how are you doing? Hey Stephanie. I don't remember how we met actually. Well, so I got a girlfriend, and I feel like that was the second semester of my senior year. And I feel like I met my friend that watches the vlog through her. And or maybe I met her through my friend that played the clarinet that lives in Portland now, because they were all in the same, they were a year behind me. And I feel like I knew her longer than that, though. I feel like I knew her my junior year when she would have been a sophomore. I do remember that she went to Europe for a summer. She did a foreign exchange program in France, and when she came back, she brought me the Black Box tape, and nobody had it yet. And I remember I thought I was I was actually just listening to a Black Box song yesterday on my iTunes that everybody. So anyway, she brought me that tape back, and I thought I was such the deal. I thought, oh my God, I've got this tape that nobody else has. And I remember she came out to my dad's house, and there was like 4 of us, and they wanted to go out on the boat. And my one friend did not have a bathing suit with her, so she just wore her bra and panties. It was like nude wire rim bra, like out there. And I remember she water skied in that. I don't know how I remember that, but I remember my friend that watches this video. I don't know how I remember this, but she had the most fantastic white bikini on that boat. She just laid in the back of the boat. A lot of my friends, I don't think she even knows this, but a lot of my friends were really jealous of her. She's real cute, and I think they always thought I had a crush on her and stuff like that. Which by that point, I was like, yeah, I thought she was adorable. I thought I did have kind of like a crush on her as far as like she was cute, you know, but like I already knew at that point that I was gay, even though I had a girlfriend. And you know what's so strange is that my girlfriend is now, she came out in college, like her first semester. I never had any clue in high school that she was a lesbian. I had no clue whatsoever. I do remember a very sweet but very awkward kiss. I guess we made out a couple times, but I remember the first kiss that I had with her. It was very awkward and sweet on her front porch. And I was so nervous. I remember being so nervous. She always made me so nervous. I really, really liked her. You know, I look back at that and I think, like, it's so interesting to me. I think that was at the point in my life where I kind of, like, I just kind of, like, I had to make an amends to her because it was horrible. I used to get wasted drunk and call her up late at night. And I felt so horrible about it when I got sober. And she was, like, one person, actually, that was kind of like, okay, whatever, you know, like, thank you, and then next, like, I'm just, like, we're not part of each other's lives, and I didn't really need to hear this. I mean, she wasn't real impressed with it. That's not why you make an amends. You know, you don't make it for the other person, you make it for yourself, really. But I mean, you do, to clear up the wreckage of your past, but I mean, a lot of people don't receive amends, you know. But anyway, yeah, I look back and I think, like, I knew I was gay, right? But, like, I think I had resigned to the fact that I would never be able to really have, like, a relationship. Like, I couldn't come, I just couldn't imagine coming out and actually, like, having a boyfriend. Like, that just seems so far away from me, which is so strange, because at the time that I was dating her and having those thoughts, I was literally, like, less than a year out. Well, God, that summer, I was, you know, out at the gay bars. I was literally, like, 6 months away from being, like, out and in gay bars and going out every night with a fake ID. Like, that is so strange to me. I think it was the fact that, I mean, I just always thought she was really beautiful and unique looking, and I think it was the fact that somebody that I was attracted to found me, you know, attractive, and not just, you know, looks-wise, but they liked me as well, and for me, and it was nice. I don't have a lot of regrets about things, but I will tell you this. My friend that was a year below me, that lives in Portland now, she wanted to take me to prom, and she told like 3 friends of ours, and it wasn't really because she had a crush. She just thought I'd be fun to go to prom with, but she wouldn't ask me because she thought I would take it the wrong way. I mean, it was kind of like a big deal, and I told my friends, I was like, tell her not to ask me because I'll have to say no, because I was so adamant that I was not going to prom, and I was kind of really, to be honest with you, I just was scared of going to prom and having everybody make fun of me. I wish I would have gone. In retrospect, I wish I would have gone, and I mean, I don't feel like I missed out on anything by not going to prom, but I think I would have had a good time with her, and that would have been like a story to tell down the road, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like my life is any different by having not gone to prom, but I think that had I gone to prom with her, we would have had a really good time, and it would have been really funny. I think we would have worn some vintage outfits or something, and it would have been fun. My husband loves school dances. His like junior and senior year, he went to like each year, he went to like 3 homecomings and 3 proms because he loved to dance. And he had so many girlfriends that lived all over Indianapolis because he danced with everybody my husband danced for the Fever basketball team. He was like part of their professional dance team when he was in high school. And so he knew a lot of people from different schools. And also because he had gone to a different junior high. So Alex graduated, and Alex and I graduated the same high school. I was class of 90, he was class of 2002. But he had gone to a different middle school. Like, I went to the same school district all like 12 years. Alex didn't. So like his junior high was a junior high that he should have gone to North Central High School, which is like the school that my cousin Caroline went to. It's like it was Carmel's rival school, sports-wise. So he knew a lot of people from like that school district as well. And so he like had friends that would ask him to go to prom or homecoming, and he would go. He said he would have gone to every dance that he was asked to. His mom has all the pictures at her house framed and stuff of like him at like standing there in the doorway with, you know, his suit and tie on and stuff. It kind of cracks me up. But yeah, I didn't go to one school dance. 6th grade. I went to the what's it called when the girls ask the boys? Do you remember that dance? The turnabout dance? Is that what it's called? Something like that. I went, and I had those 2 girls that later dumped me as friends. They both asked me, and so the 3 of us went, and we had such a great time. I do remember that. I can see myself standing there in the junior high like cafeteria, and it was just 6th grade, and it felt real safe, and I had fun, you know. But that was the last school dance I went to, was that 6th grade school dance. Isn't that so funny? I guess that's not really funny. I guess it's kind of sad, really. I feel like that's a big part of my life that I just didn't participate in stuff because I felt afraid. If you had asked me at the time, like, if you like put the lasso of truth around me, like, I knew it was because I was afraid, but I wasn't willing to say that. I was like, more like, no, it's just because it's stupid. Like, school dances and all this stuff, they're just stupid. You know, that's what I said. Whether that was true or not, who knows, you know? Because I'll never know because I didn't go to any. I don't think they were stupid. Am I almost done already? Have I almost vlogged for a half an hour? Oh my Lanta. So it's 10:54, and I'm like, should I put this video up? Should I not put this video up? I feel like when I walk into the house, I'll know if I should put it up or not. Well, all right, you guys, I'm going to stop it here, and then I will be back in just a little bit to finish the vlog. Bye. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me? Well, it's been a while. So I was, what was it, like 10:30, 10:25 when I started before? It is now 1:34 in the morning. And I went home and I did post my video. And then I talked to Tanya Jean. And then I responded to some comments on my drama video. And then, what else did I do? Kind of planned out my day for tomorrow. We're having lunch with Alex's mom and grandma at 2 o'clock. And then I have the True Crime Book Club live stream at, it's so nice. I do not need the air right now, I don't think, at 4 o'clock. And then I haven't decided if I'm gonna make videos yet or not tomorrow. I'm kind of in the mood. So when we get done, depending how long it goes, I haven't even finished the book yet. I still have an hour of the book to finish. But I'm like into it now. Interesting take on it, I will tell you in just a second. But depending on what time we get done, because I'm not gonna get up earlier, obviously, and make videos. So, I mean, I should, but I'll probably start a new book tonight after I finish it and listen to something else. And I've got to go to the post office to mail this bill. And, yeah, I have all these drinks going. I have my Diet Coke from earlier, and then I brought 2 cans of Diet Coke with me in case I really got into like an audiobook. And then I also have my coffee from earlier that I reviewed, which is delicious. And then I have my empty cup in here that I put in here so I could go through Starbucks tomorrow to get coffee, forgetting that I always get a take-home cup from Pataché. So I didn't actually need to have my cup in the car. I like brought it back from inside so that I had it like in my car for tomorrow, but I'll have it in there for Monday. And so anyway, yeah, I just did some stuff around the house, and then Alex was like up. He had like, because you know he had slept most of the evening. So we hung out in bed and just kind of talked and stuff, and I changed my t-shirt, and I forgot to wear a hat, but I'm sure you guys could care less. But Darlene, my long-lost cousin Darlene's kicking 50. She's 50 and she likes to kick over here. Actually, my hair doesn't look too bad. I was looking at a picture of me, I was looking at a video of me from like a while ago, and my hair was like longer all over, and I'm thinking about not like growing it out long, but just like the sides, maybe like another inch, so that I can kind of like maneuver it or style it a little bit easier. So yeah, and then I was on the computer like looking at stuff. Alex and I were looking at, you just like look at stuff online, shopping stuff that you really don't need and can't really justify getting. So we were just kind of looking at all this kind of stuff online, and then I ordered a new ring light, and he was like, what do you want for your birthday, babe? And I was like, I don't know. I said, I think I kind of want to get my car detailed for my birthday. He's like, you want me to get you your car detailed for your birthday? And I said, yeah, I think. He was like, do you want me to get you a new ring light too? And I said, well, actually, I just ordered a new ring light. My ring light died this week. I don't know what happened to it. I have no idea. I cannot figure it out. It's not the light bulbs because they're not that old. And I tried to figure it out and I couldn't. So I got on Amazon and I literally bought the exact same ring light that Alex got me last time, which he must have just got the first ring light. It's like Amazon's #1 choice ring light or whatever, but so I bought that. So that should be here by Thursday. So at least by Friday I'll have a ring light to start making videos. It's supposed to rain the better part of the week, so the house will be dark and I won't have any light for making videos. We'll figure it out. I'm not too worried about it. I haven't been using a ring light for about a week now and people hardly even notice. So but yeah, so last night when I vlogged, you know, I was talking about, because I was telling Mel this today. Mel and I talked for a while today. Mel, my book club partner, if you don't know. So anyway, when I was talking about the book last night, I was like, oh, the author at the beginning of it says that it's not really about, you know, the killer, and it's really about the victims, and he's gonna do all this like justice, you know, for the victims and all this kind of stuff. Okay, that is so not the case of the book. I don't even know really why he said it at the beginning, except for to maybe, I really cannot figure it out for the life of me why he said it at the beginning of the book, because literally the entire book is all just about the killer. And it's interesting. I mean, it's very interesting. And you know, honestly, Mel said, she said, I feel like they focus on the victims a little bit. And I said, only when if you really like are listening, we both listened to it on Audible. I said, if you really listen, it's only when it like furthers the story that the author talks about the victims. And she's like, you're right. And I was like, yeah, it's like, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I felt like, okay, just be a true crime novel and don't act like you're gonna like pay homage to the victims if you're not gonna really pay homage to the victims. And there was part that were, because like this one woman who is murdered, when they find her body, they like go to her friends and her ex-boyfriend, and the police do, and it's like this emotional moment. But he gives like very quick background history on each of the victims, which there's 6 victims, and I'm almost done with the book, and they've only talked about 2 of the victims. And then he talks about this woman that's like this activist in Alaska for these women, and he really doesn't talk about her at all. I don't even really know why he includes her in the book. So it's like he went into the book with having one idea of what he was going to write, and then he ended up writing something else. I mean, it's literal courtroom transcripts at times. Like, and he just is reading from the transcripts. Now, I will tell you what was interesting about the book, and this has not happened to me in quite a while with a true crime book, is I actually got pretty scared last night listening to it. I mean, I drove around so I finished vlogging at like 2:20, and then I drove around and listened to the book until 5:45. So almost 3.5 hours I drove around listening to this book. There were parts towards the second half of the book, because it's kind of split up into 2 things. So so the killer, whose name is Josh Wade, he gets arrested for the murder of this one woman, and it goes to trial. What's her first name? Della. It's not Della, is it? Della Brown. Her mom's name is Daisy, I know that. I think it's Della. So he goes to court for this murder of this woman that wasn't like an alleged prostitute and drug addict. And they really paint like a horrible picture of her. But that really doesn't have anything to do with why. Well, first of all, I want to say, like, he says at the beginning of it that like the police don't care about these victims and these women that are murdered and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so the first, I would say, third of the book is about this. I think her name is Della Brown, and she's a native Alaskan, and she's just really had a tough life. And so she's murdered, like, horrifically, and they go to court for it and stuff. But anyway, he says, like, the police don't care. But, like, the police do a pretty thorough investigation. I was really surprised. Like, the police did a really kind of, like, deep investigation into this. More so than I've heard in other true crime books. More so, like, in the Chris Watts case. I mean, they really did, like, a thorough investigation. So I don't really know where that whole... I mean, I'm sure it's true, but I don't know where it applies to this book. So the whole premise of this book is going in and talking about these Native Alaskan women who are kind of singled out, and then the police don't care about them, and all that. That's kind of like the whole idea of what the book is. When I went into it, I thought that's what it was going to be about. Well, I originally thought it was going to be about this Alaskan serial killer, because that's what the synopsis said. But then when we got into the book and it said that, about how it was really not about that, it was going to be about these women and their lives. Okay, well, the second half of the book is about this woman named Mindy that's murdered, who's a nurse. What I will say, one thing that's interesting about the first case, so and if you haven't read it by now and you're going to read it for the True Crime Book Club, I'm sorry, but tomorrow is the live book club, so I'm going to talk about it a little bit, because it's a very interesting story. So all of the evidence for the first case is circumstantial evidence. There's like 9 charges, and the jury is split like 11 to 1, and then the 12th person like flips at is convinced to vote against him at the end. I don't know how they know that, but somehow he says that. He talks to a juror later that wants to remain anonymous. But the one charge that he gets charged with or convicted with is tampering with evidence. And so he's apparently being harassed in jail. So, and I don't understand this either. He's being harassed in jail, and so he says he's going to take, because people already think he's guilty, he's just going to take the maximum penalty, which is 5 years. And so he takes 5 years in prison, which is really like 3 years, 2 years served, because he's already served like 2 years at that point, is what the judge gives him. I think it's 5 years or 6 years, but it's like 2 years served, so whatever. So he gets out. He doesn't get convicted for this woman's murder. But what was interesting, this is what I was going to say, was that the prosecution actually, the defense actually uses the prosecution's claim of this woman being like a prostitute and that she prostituted for drugs and alcohol like against them. And they say, why would you paint this picture of this woman on these alleged like accusations that aren't true and do that to the family and stuff? It's like the defense was very smart. Like they played against the prosecution, and the prosecution did not look very smart in this case, the first case, right? So the second case is about this Mindy woman that is a nurse. Now, I do have a feeling that at the end, what he's basically going to say is, now I do know because he said, I'm assuming because at the beginning of the book, he says there is no resolution. The killer never goes to prison for these crimes. So I have a feeling that he may get off of the second crime as well, but like on circumstantial evidence or something like that, or on like some lower charge, because I do know that he goes to prison because the guy says it, the writer says it at the beginning, right? But if not, and he does go to prison for this killing, then I think what he's going to say is the Native Alaskan women are treated different than in like as a victim in the courtroom kind of thing. But there's also a big difference between the two cases. I mean, in the first case, it literally was all circumstantial evidence. It was all just hearsay from people that had seen her body and that he told that he had done it and things like that. And it was very bizarre. There was a lot of like, the police were like, they were like having people wear wires when he was with them. This one friend, like, he even knew like that the guy had a wire on, because he's like, lift up your shirt, man. And the guy's like, why would you do that to me? Why would you? It was like the weirdest interchange. And I would have been terrified, you know, but this guy's like, no, I wasn't scared. I knew, you know, what he was going to do that and whatever. So, but the second thing, I mean, they have like dogs. First of all, they go in and they talk about capturing scent as evidence, which is so interesting. I don't even really know what this means. But they capture scents like around things that he would have touched. Oh, there's a little bunny. And then they have, and there was a bird that flew away right after that. And then they have these dogs go after the scent. I mean, I know about, you know, dogs that track and canines and stuff like that, but this is like more. They're like leading them across the interstates and stuff to where like, and they, you know, from where the body was to where it started, and they go back to the house where he was staying in the room, and the dogs identify his clothing and all this. I mean, there's so much evidence against him. His girlfriend, even, like, he even takes this one, like, girl hostage. He goes into somebody's apartment. He's, like, hiding there. He doesn't really know these people. He kind of knows this girl. But he goes in there, and the police knock on the brother's door, and so the brother comes out. Imagine this, okay? He's just gotten home from working at McDonald's. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting kind of scared even talking about this. And so he's asleep in bed, this guy, and he hears a knock at his door. Where are my stamps? Lottery tickets that I'm sure I probably only won $2 on. Whenever I reach down here into the middle console, all I find is change that I've thrown down in here, or masks. Where are my stamps? I have something to pick up at the post office. I've been meaning to pick this up for like a week now. Hold on just a second. So, What does that card say on it? I cannot find these stamps. I don't want to have to go inside and buy stamps. I know I have stamps in here somewhere. So he, but anyway, he, what was I going to say? Oh, so this guy gets off from McDonald's working there, and he comes home. Oh, here they are. He comes home. Is this the stamp? Are these the stamps? Oh, thank God. Stamps. He comes home and goes to sleep because he's exhausted, right? And have I told you about having to mail in my HOA fees every month? Because if not, and you pay it online, they charge you $20 to pay it online, which I think is like totally a ripoff. And I think that they use this service. I've never heard of a service where you have to pay $20 to pay for something online. Now this stuff is going underneath my seat. This mask is like, look how old this mask is. I've got gloves in here and everything. So yeah, this guy is like sleeping in his bedroom and the police knock on his door. After he's worked this long shift, I think they even said maybe a double, but I could be wrong. A double at McDonald's. And so he wakes up to the police looking in the window at him, right? And they're like, go answer the door. And so he goes to the door. Like, they don't say anything else to him, which I thought was interesting and speculative anyway. Like, you wouldn't warn somebody like, there's a killer outside in your living room, okay? But they don't. So he goes out in the living room and then he sees his sister sitting on the couch with this guy, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, who are you? And the guy's like, I can't let you open the door. And he's like, screw you, this is my apartment. And he goes to open the door and the police just come bombarding in, right? And so, like, he goes out, the police pull him out, and then he goes outside, but, like, they shut, like, this Josh guy shuts the door, and then he's got his sister in there. And the whole thing was just, like, crazy how it was done. And then there's this girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, who's, like, 20, and she knows what he did. She's heard all the stories, she's seen the news. She saw him hide a gun behind this bush, behind this stop sign and all this kind of stuff. But she still thinks he's like a good guy and maybe it's not him. And finally, it's her following him and turning him into the police. And then she feels bad. And then when they say, he asks her later, like, well, why did you do it? She goes, I didn't do it for them. I did it for him because I didn't want him to get in any more trouble. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm so confused with how people fall in love with these types. And, I mean, he's not a good person. He's not like a nice person at all, like when you read this book. Am I mailing the right one? Okay. Yeah. So, why is it... I was carrying it with the cup that had the Diet Coke, and now it's like smeared across here. Oh well, it's okay. Okay. So... So then he gets caught, and then like a month later they find the body. And oh, this was really smart though in the second case. So the second case, they bring in the FBI and they bring in the police, special police force, task force, and all this kind of stuff. And it's a completely different investigation. Even the first investigation though was done like, I mean, it wasn't done horribly. The prosecution was just not very great. The whole thing. Yeah, I listened to all of this last night. At super, not super fast speed, because he talks so fast that I can't really... Here, before I get out of here on the road, let me get all this stuff situated. I just don't want this Diet Coke to spill over, because then I can't use it, drink it. Oh, but this is what the investigators do in the second case. It's really smart. So... the woman's name is Mindy that's been killed, right? And they have not found her yet, and they want to find her, and they know that he's not going to talk, right? And he's so smart with all this stuff. He's been arrested a million times, so he always asks for an attorney. So they put him in a room, and they're talking to him, and he's like, I want my attorney. And he was like, okay, no, they tell him the charges they're going to get him for. They don't say murder or anything like that. The charge they say they're going to get him for is, I don't know what it's called, but it's for using somebody else's ATM card, or making like a financial transaction without their consent, because he goes and he takes money out of her ATM card, and he says something, and they said, well, we talked to Mindy and she told us that she didn't give you consent to use the ATM card. And he smirks and he looks at him and he said, what do you guys do? He gets real confused because he's killed her at this point, right? And they're trying to like trap him, and it kind of works, and then he gets real rattled. So anyway, and now I'm at the point where they're going to start, I guess, the court case, and then that's the book. But it's interesting to listen to. But I was really scared at some point. So like for a major part of the book, he's on the run. Like they have no idea where he's at. And at one point, he goes to the woman across the street that lives across the street, and she's like a nursing student, and she's got 2 kids, and she also has this guy that's like 20 staying with her, who actually, his sister owns the house across the street that this Josh guy is staying in. And so he comes over and he's like, if the police come and they ask you if you've seen me, don't mention me because I have a prior record, and then they'll think it was me. And he was like, can you just not say my name? And she's like leaving to go to work, and she's like, yeah, I don't have time to have this conversation. And he like keeps on pushing the issue and pushing the issue and pushing the issue. So the police do come, and she talks to the police. She doesn't say anything about it because she's like, this was the part that was scary. She doesn't say anything about it because she's like, this guy is really scary. Oh, the whole time that the police are standing on her front porch, he's looking at her through the front window of the house across the street. So she doesn't say anything, right? And then and then he comes back across after the police leave, and he's like, what did you say? And she's like, I didn't say anything. She's like, I said I didn't know that woman and whatever. So then she goes to work, and she starts thinking about it, and she's like, I think I should call the police. And so she calls the police. They come and talk to her at work or something, because she's like, I don't want you coming to my house because then he'll see you there. And so she comes home and she's studying, and it's like 1 o'clock, and just imagine, okay, she's in the house all by herself, her kids are gone for the night. I think she said that they're friends or grandparents or something. They were just gone for the night. And the guy that stays with her that's 20 was like at a friend's house down the street or something. So she's sitting in this like back room with the light on, and it's like that's the only room that has any light on. The rest of the house is dark. And she hears like the front porch creaking. So she goes and looks through a window at the front porch, and he's standing on her front porch, just standing there, looking at the door, smoking a cigarette. Just standing there. So then he rings the doorbell, and she's like, she doesn't know what to do. And so she starts freaking out, and when she looks back, he's gone. And she was like scared for her life. So she calls the guy that like stays with her, like, because she rents this room to him or something, or said he could stay with her, while these people his sister rents the house out across the street. I didn't know that whole part was very confusing to me too. But she's like, you need to come home now. And then she tells the police about what happened. And they actually told her to go stay somewhere else for the night. And then I think they did. And then the girlfriend, whose name was Christina, she and her mother, they tell them to go stay for somewhere for the night too. They're like, you're in danger. And the girl's like, I'm not staying in this hotel. They take her to a hotel room, and she's like, I'm not staying in this hotel room. And they're like, if you leave, you're on your own. If you stay, we can protect you. And she's like, he's not going to do anything. I mean, she doesn't get it. It's like, so I thought like he was going to come after her too. But then his responses to her are like very kind of like juvenile and infantile. He's like, you're a rat. But anyway, it's an interesting case. I don't know why they put that big metal gate up at Richie Woods when it's never closed. So that's the book that I was listening to last night. That's the book that I've been listening to. And that Humane Society is so nice, the new one. And I don't know what I'm going to listen to next. I don't know if I want to listen to a cozy mystery. I don't know if I want to listen to like something new that just came out that's a bestseller. I also have Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli, which is like about 2 friends that went to drama camp over the summer. She's a young adult author, but she writes mostly about... She wrote Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which was the movie Love, Simon, which, by the way, season 2 of Love, Victor on Hulu is about to come out, and this first season was so fantastic. I loved it. Okay, that Diet Coke. I can't pitch the ice out, but that Diet Coke is watered down. So if you're looking for a good show, Love, Victor is a good show. I'm just gonna have to throw this coffee out, which I hate doing, but oh well. You were good while it lasted. Sure, I can put my Coke right here. So she wrote a new book, and it's called Kate in Waiting, and it's about two friends. I think it's about a guy and a girl, and they went to drama camp, and they have like this crush on this guy, and then he ends up coming to their school for like their senior year, and they make like a deal about like whichever one he ends up liking or something, the other one won't get jealous or something. I don't know, but I heard it was good. So I might read that. I might read the next Charlie Davidson book about Second Grave on the Right, but I don't necessarily feel like, I'm not necessarily feeling like going right into that. The Bad Day for Sunshine. I bought the second book tonight. I think I said that earlier. A Good Day for Chardonnay, and Bad Day for Sunshine, and A Good Day for Chardonnay. And it comes out July 27th. I pre-ordered it. I really want to read that Malibu Rising book, but I feel like that would make such a great book for Peter's book club. I mean, I only have to wait 3 weeks, right? 4 weeks. And then I also have the True Crime book for June and the Peter's Book Club for June, but I'll probably read those closer to the end of the month. It's my birthday month. I'll be 49 on June 29th. I can't even believe it. I have got some goals and not resolutions, I don't like that word, but goals and dreams lists that I'm going to be doing around my birthday for things that I want to accomplish by the time that I turn 50. Things that I've always wanted to do, and that I want to accomplish in the next year. And some of them are like, you know, small kind of little bucket list things, and some of them are bigger little bucket list things. And some of them are just challenging myself. It seems so weird that I'm gonna be, this car is like coming up really close behind me, and it like came speeding out of that neighborhood. It feels so weird that I'm gonna be 50, like in a year. I mean, if I make it, hopefully, right? We say that in sobriety, like we don't borrow time, so we always... This car is literally on my butt. Like, what is your deal, dude? Just get in the other lane. Pass me. Oh, now he won't pass me. So, but in recovery, like, we don't borrow time, so we'll say, like, you know, in December I'll have 27 years if I make it. And, so I don't mean that morbidly, you know? But no, there's some things I want to accomplish. You know, but I am proud of myself. I have accomplished so much in my life. Like, I look at who I was at 18, and I do think it's important to be proud of your accomplishments in life, you know? I look at myself at 18, and I look at how scared and lost I was, and how I really didn't have any clue about what I wanted to do in this world, or what I thought that I could accomplish. You know, one of the things that whenever like people reach out, like in cameos, people reach out that are like younger, and they'll be like turning 21 or 22, and they'll say like they'll ask a lot, like, what's a piece of advice you would give me at my age? And, you know, I always say that, where am I at on time? Is it about to stop? I feel like it's about to stop any second, or I'm like a minute away from, I'm exactly a minute away from it stopping. But I always say, like, anything that you want to have in your life on some level, you can have. I mean, I don't know that I'm a believer at 50 anymore, that if you say, like, I want to have a house that's $100 million, and I want to have 5 yachts, and I mean, if it's all superficial stuff like that, I think the question would be, why is that stuff so important to you, right? I mean, we all like nice things, but at some point it's like, why is that the focus of it? But like, if those are things that you want, you work hard enough, I'm sure. I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of people that wouldn't have that opportunity, you know what I mean, like, in the world. But I also wouldn't tell somebody that at 22. I'd say, you know, you work as hard as you possibly can and you can have the things in life that you want to have. I do believe that. But I also think as you get older, you realize, yeah, I like having nice things. And it stopped. And I have a feeling the battery's about to die any second too, because it's been on the halfway mark for a while. But as you get older, you realize, you know, like, yeah, I like to have nice things. And if I work hard, I want to maybe like allow myself to have a few nice things, you know? But I don't want to define my life that way, you know? So if you ask yourself when you're younger, like, what is it I want? You know, anything that you can dream, you can achieve. I really, really do believe that. You know, if you want to be an actor, you may not be an Oscar-winning actor, but if you want to be an actor in community theater or plays or movies or whatever, do it. If you want to write a book, do it. If you want to be a recording artist and put music out, do it. If you want to be an attorney or a doctor, work your butt off and do it, you know? And you might not end up where you think that's going to look like. I mean, you might go into it and say, I want to be a plastic surgeon, and you end up being a paramedic. And 10 times happier because maybe that's where you're supposed to be, you know? I definitely in this world did not end up where I thought I was going to be. But I'm very proud of the things that I've accomplished in my life. I mean, first and foremost, my sobriety. I mean, and that's, you know, really like between me and God. But I am proud of it because that was the thing that brought me down the farthest of everything in life, you know? And I think like, we should be proud of our accomplishments. I'm proud of the fact that I'll have been married for 10 years in August and in a relationship for 13 years. Like, in a committed relationship, like, I mean, and yes, we've had to work really, really hard, and our marriage and relationship has been difficult, and there have been times that I thought that we were not going to make it and that we were going to get divorced or separate, but we're here. And, you know, tonight when I'm sitting there and we're like going through stupid stuff on the internet and Alex has his head on my shoulder, you know, while we're sitting downstairs, I mean, it's like for those moments, or the moments where we're sitting in bed and, you know, we're showing each other TikToks, which we did all night tonight, you know? I think I wasted like an hour just looking at TikToks. They are enjoyable though, aren't they? It's so funny because Alex likes kind of the crass TikToks, obviously, if you've known him to be on my videos. And I like the ones that are just kind of like a little bit more innocently funny. I don't know why, but I do. There was this one, though, that he sent me today, and it was this dog, and it was crawling over a fence, and it was so sweet, but it was hilarious at the same time, because, like, her mom started yelling at her, like, what are you doing? She, like, literally, it was like this little Pomeranian, climbed right over the fence, and it said something like bad dog behavior or something on it. It was hilarious. I mean, I don't know how this dog learned to climb up this gate, you know, like a, what do you call it, a gate, you know, that metal fencing gate, kind of like that, just put the snout in and then climbed up, snout in and climbed up. But I think it's, you know, my marriage is probably the second thing that I'm the proudest of, you know? Got my master's degree, got my undergraduate degree, you know? Was a editor-in-chief of a literary magazine for 3 years, you know? Worked in a treatment program for 13 years. Repaired my relationships with my mom and my dad and my stepmom. Have maintained friendships, you know? My best friend and I have been friends for 24 years, you know? Wrote a book. Did I say that already? Have 6 YouTube channels that I think are enjoyable and do pretty good. And, you know, I think I've maybe impacted a few people's lives out there in a positive way. So yeah, I'm proud of myself, you know? And, yeah. And you know, the thing is, if I wanted to make a list of like, there's a lot of like really small things that I've done that I'm proud of, you know? The book club, like I told Mel today, I said, I am so proud of you. I said, we have 4,000, oh, it just went out of focus. Come on now. Why did it just do that right now? I said, Mel, we have 4,000 people in the book club on Facebook. Now, granted, we don't get that many people that come in the live stream. I don't think I would like it if we had that many people that came in the live stream. But we are going to try to change some things up to try to get more people in the live stream. We talked about that today. I think she made a post on Facebook about what would people like, what would get them to be more involved. And I think most of it is the platform. The problem is YouNow is such a perfect platform for guesting people, and there really aren't a lot of other great platforms for guesting people, but we're going to look into it to make it a little bit more user, accessible. And YouNow is glitchy and doesn't work, and people can't get on it. Hell, I couldn't get it on I couldn't get on it last time and really struggled with it, but I finally did. And then it makes it easier because the conversation's on the right-hand side and we can guess people in the middle. Karen's so fantastic to monitor the comment section and then bring all those things up to us. Why is this gas station closed? That's interesting. All of these gas stations now are closing between 10 and 12 because they can't get people to work third shift. I wonder if that's what's going on there. This is my gas. It's like, look, it's completely, no. I mean, the lights in the store are on, but it's no other lights. That's the gas station that I stop at. Good thing I don't need gas right now. I do think there's a Speedway out here that's open later, though. But, I think the importance of looking at the things you're proud of yourself for accomplishing is to realize that things you thought were never possible, that you could never accomplish in your life, you did. If you had said to me 27 years ago, 27 years from now, or 26 years from now, you're gonna have been sober for 26 years, I wouldn't have believed that I could have stayed sober for a month, okay? Let alone 26 years. If somebody had said to me, you'll write a book and have it published, I would never have believed that, I definitely wouldn't have believed that I would have met somebody and been in a relationship and married for this long. I just didn't ever think, a man, like that's important, because I didn't think that that was ever foreseeable in my future. I just thought the state of the world at that time wasn't accepting of that, when I was in high school, I didn't, this is the importance of the thing today that, I want to tell you about this TikTok that I just saw. The importance, I think, of where we're at today with the exposure of so many, pop culture figures that are out and having these discussions and the importance of it and the importance of discussing homophobia and having TV shows that have characters, having TV shows that are all completely devoted just to LGBTQIA plus culture and community, whole entire channels and movies and documentaries and books and YA books and on and on and on, right? Clothing lines. And that's why, this whole thing, I see, I actually posted this thing on my Instagram today because it was funny, but it was this girl and she was making fun of companies using Pride Day to market to the LGBT community. And it was funny, that's why I posted it. But that's why, and I said this in my drama video the other day, and I think I said it on here too. I don't have an issue with companies wanting to market to the LGBT community, because there was a time that they would never, ever, ever, ever have had us in their stores or allowed any of that, period, end of story. I live in a world today where I'm not really, bullying's not the word. I'm not really harassed out in public. But when I came out, my friends and I, we were, and you could go into a store and people wouldn't wait on you in a store or a restaurant. They would make you wait and wait. It was a lot, and we've come a long way. We have a lot further to go. But I didn't see myself, okay, on television shows. I didn't see myself in movies, and if I did in high school, if it was a made-for-TV movie or whatever, like that, Maple Lane movie or whatever that was, or that one guy that was, I can't remember what that actor's name was. There's always some sad story about how somebody was dying from AIDS. That was what I had to look at as representation of when I was growing up. Okay, it was all stereotypes. If you were watching a show, it was a super effeminate guy that was being made fun of indirectly because he was super effeminate. And the battery started dying, so it's going to die here in a second, so I need to pull in somewhere to change it. If it was a lesbian, she was super butch and wasn't that funny that she was super butch, you know? And, you know, I'm not saying that stereotypes aren't based on some kinds of truths at some point, but when I look at my gay friends, like, there's no specific group that any of them fit into. I mean, I have friends of mine that have been in the military. I have friends of mine that, you know, played, you know, college football. I have friends of mine that are super effeminate, even more so than people think that I am, on and on and on, you know? So, like, there's no specific thing. And now, you know, as we talk about people that identify as non-binary and genderqueer and all those kinds of things, it's like a whole new world, you know? And it's beautiful. I love it, right? That did not exist when I came out, and it was scary. And I didn't see myself in TV shows. I didn't see myself in movies. I didn't really realize that I didn't realize that I could have a world where I lived with another man in love and that it would be respected and accepted. I just did not think that was possible, period. And in fact, it was funny because I was talking to a friend of mine probably, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, maybe longer than that. And we both graduated, I think he graduated in 91, different high school. And I said, did you ever think this was possible? And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, you did? I mean, he has a gorgeous home with his husband and stuff. And I said, you did? And he was like, oh yeah, I always thought this was possible. Well, he grew up in a little bit more of a liberal state than I did, and, you know, I just think that might have had a lot to do with it, the difference of opinions and things like that. But where am I at on time? I just want to know before the battery completely dies. So I think that, you know, like, any positive exposure to the LGBTQIA plus community is, I think, positive. You know, I think it's good for us. And, yeah, and I think, like, okay, I'm back, and I'm kind of freaked out. I pulled into this strip mall here, which I pull into sometimes, which is the local bar and restaurant in Westfield. My cousin loves this place. And this car pulled in behind me, like, real slow, and I was like, well, I was like, how long has this car been, like, following me? It's pulling in here. And, I can see it. He's parked, like, he's stopped way down there. Way down there. It couldn't have been that long because it's not the car, because I watched it go by me. I pulled in here and he, like, stopped. It's a guy. And he, like, stopped back over there. Like, he didn't know if he should keep on going forward, but then he would have come into the strip mall with me. Or if he should act like he was going into this neighborhood. And so he kept on going, and I can see, he's like, I can see his taillights down there. He's just stopped. I got the end of the road. So anyway, but I don't know how long he was following me or whatever. Every once in a while, I very rarely say it on here. I guess I should probably do that. I should probably say if, I'm gonna go this way and go around so that he has to come back this way if he wants to get out to see me. But it's probably nothing. I'm probably just making something up about it. But that happens every once in a while. There are some times when I typically don't say it because I'm like, I don't think he's moving. And I can't see him anymore. But there are times where I feel like I have been, like, and no, I'm not paranoid, like, followed around for a period of my vlog. It's weird. So yeah, I mean, I think it's important that we have, you know, role models of people out there, people talking about it, normalizing that for the younger generation, as well as the older generation. You know, there are still a lot of, like, older people that come out and identify in some way other than what they have identified the majority of their lives, right? And so I think that, I mean, I've had quite a few, it's interesting because I've had quite a few people, like, I never, like, okay, whenever, like, okay, first of all, I have quite a few trans people that reach out to me that say, thank you for like sharing your story, thank you for your honesty, and all this kind of stuff. And that means so much to me. I mean, I've had quite a few trans people reach out to me, and it's, I mean, our stories are so completely different, I'm sure, but they're like, just, you know, you sharing your honesty has made me feel so not all alone. And I don't know, it just really means a lot to me. But typically, when people reach out to me and say, like, I just came out, or I'm closeted, I get a lot of messages from people that say they're closeted and they don't know how to come out to their family and friends. I don't give a lot of advice on that because I think everybody's story is completely different. I do say things like, you know, it's on your time. Don't rush it. You know, make sure that you have a safe environment to come out to, and, you know, you have a support system around you already in case, you know, it doesn't look like the picture that you have in your head, or in case it does look like the picture that you have in your head, you know? But typically when people reach out to me, I've gotten quite a few guys after college, like after they've graduated from college and they're like 24, 25, and they'll reach out to me and they'll say, I found you from your drama channel, I watch your vlog channel, I don't ever comment. This is like almost consistent, okay? And they'll say, I don't ever comment, but like, I live in such and such place or whatever, and I don't really have any friends. I'm not comfortable going to a gay bar by myself. I don't know any other gay people. I don't really know how to even come out to myself, is basically what they're saying, right? Like, it's not just about me coming out to my family. I also don't know how to, like, go out and, like, meet other people, you know? And I think that's one of the things that's the hardest, I will say. I also think that, like, in my generation, the gay bars were where you went and met people. And I do think that's true of certain cities. But, like, in Indianapolis, there's really not a huge, like, gay social scene here anymore, right? It's very mixed places that you go, like gay, straight. Which, in all honesty, is hard, because if you look across the room and you think somebody's attractive, if you don't know that they're straight or gay, that's why gay bars are safe for us. We feel like we can dance and party and hit on people, and it's a safe environment for us, you know? And, but, you know, back in the day, so this was interesting because we have a friend of ours that owns, well, we have a couple friends of ours that own bars, but we have a friend of ours that owns a gay bar. It's not gay, but it's, like, known for, well, actually they did have a gay night there as far as, like, bar night. But we were talking to him one time, and he was talking about the hours that he stays open anymore. And he was like, yeah, I usually close up about 11. He goes, we're kind of a starter bar anyway. People come here before they go to other places. This was a couple years ago when other bars were still open in Indianapolis. And I was like, why are, like, he said, I used to be able to pack them in here till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, because it's a restaurant, so other people would go, you know, out, and then they would come to the restaurant and, like, eat and stuff like that. He said, I can't get people to come here anymore, you know, all night long. And I was like, why not? He goes, well, because of the, like, the dating apps and Grindr and Scruff and all that kind of stuff. He was like, people don't go out anymore. People would rather hang out with their friends and go see movies and go eat dinner and, you know, with friends, like with their girlfriends or their guy friends or family or whatever, you know? And then when they want to hook up and have sex, they just get on one of the dating apps, you know? That's what they do. They don't need to go to a bar anymore. They don't need to go find a cute outfit to wear and be in a bar. And, you know, it's kind of a lost generation, honestly. Because that was what it was for us. And that's not just a gay thing, because I know from my girlfriends too, and I went out with my girlfriends, that, you know, we would all find cute outfits. We go to the mall, we get, you know, we go tanning back in the day, or lay out by the pool, have a couple beers, you know, and get ready, take a nap, look so cute, to go out, have the right outfit, and we were gonna find somebody that night. You know what I mean? I was always trying to find a boyfriend. I usually either had a boyfriend or was always looking for a boyfriend. But, yeah, it was just a different world, you know? Different world. I didn't think this life that I have today was possible. Now, I was like, is that car again? I was like, I cannot believe that car. It couldn't be. And they turned. So now I am starting to sound a little paranoid, aren't I? I think it's really, really important. I heard this TikToker tonight. He was kind of talking about this, but I've said it for a long time, and I really agree with what he said. It is so important that we pay homage to the people that came before us, you know? the people that fought for us at Stonewall and in the civil rights movements of the 60s and 70s. And he mentioned, ACT UP in there, and all of the, the men that died from AIDS, an entire generation of men that we lost, artists, doctors, lawyers, writers, actors, performers, sons, brothers, fathers, friends, and I think the other thing that people don't remember about that whole time is, it was funny because I was talking, well, it wasn't funny, but I always should say it's funny. It was interesting because I was talking to Caroline, and somehow we got talking about, I was talking to her about documentaries, and I had seen that on, I think it's on Prime, no, Amazon Prime, yeah. We Were Here is up there. You guys, it's a fantastic documentary if you haven't seen it. And also, The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson is on Netflix. It's fantastic. You should watch that as well. How to Fight a Plague. I don't know where that's at. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Fantastic. Fantastic. And the end will surprise you. Because it spans 20 years, and it's really about the gay men's health crisis in New York City that they put together to fight AIDS. And that movie with Mark Ruffalo that he was so fantastic in, and Julia Roberts played the doctor. It was, what was that called? Normal, something like that? Normal Heart or something like that. It was a lot about what happened during that time. And the building of the gay men's health crisis, which was what that movie was about too. Alex and I watched that movie and just sobbed. But I was talking to Caroline, and Caroline goes, I can remember when I was working at Applebee's, this would have been when I first came out, because she met her husband at Applebee's. He was the general manager of 3 stores, and she was the bartender at 1 store. And so she said, I remember this guy that I worked with died from AIDS, and she was like, there was not enough money for a funeral. So we took up a collection for his funeral. And that really took me back, that I remember all of these benefit drag shows that they would have. I mean, it felt like 5 nights a week there were benefit. I mean, every drag show you would go to was a benefit drag show, and 40% of the proceeds. Yeah, and this is it's interesting today when we talk about drag queens and drag queens will, local drag queens will say I don't make enough money and blah, 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 whatever, which they don't, because if you're not on RuPaul's Drag Race, it's really hard to get any kind of attention, you know what I mean? So you should, if you go out, tip your local drag queens. But, it's interesting that here we are in a world where drag queens are now getting paid, quite a bit of money, especially these RuPaul's Drag Race queens. But I can remember when I started going out, every drag show I went to was a benefit show. And, I mean, almost literally for a year or two, I can remember going to them at the 10, and it would start, and they would say, this is a benefit show. I mean, some of them were to send people to pageants, but that would when Miss Gay Indiana or something, we're going to send her to Miss Gay, USA, or Miss Gay America or whatever. So they would have benefit shows for that, and all the tips would go to that or whatever. But then there were a lot of benefit shows that were for people that had died of AIDS, that they didn't have any family, or their family, when they found out they were gay or they had AIDS, just were done with them, and threw them out. Literally, and emotionally threw them out. They had no contact with them, and so they weren't part of their family anymore. So it's on top of being scared to death that you're dying, then there's also this piece. Pose actually has been addressing that this season, and it's fantastic. And tomorrow night is a series finale, and I am so sad. And I'm sure it will end fantastically, and I'm sure I'll be sitting there sobbing, and I'm gonna get some treats to have while I'm watching it too. But maybe a Totino's pizza. It's sad to think about that, and all of those people that passed as a result, I mean, I know it's not just men that died of AIDS. But it was a huge community just wiped out, people that couldn't be out to their families or at work, you know. I mean, I think back about people that got tattoos on their wrists. If you ever haven't heard the story, I think it's like the star they used to get or something, and it's because they could at work have their watch cover up their tattoo, but then when they would go out, they would have their tattoo open out so that it would, there was something about, I don't know what it is, a star or something. Somebody know the story of what it is? So then that way when they were out, like, that was their sign to other people that I'm gay, you know? And there was huge fear, you know. We talked about this in the book club when we read Elon Green's book. I mean, you could get arrested. I mean, sodomy laws were still in place when I came out. Like, I can remember that honestly being a legitimate fear of mine, that my boyfriend and I could be sitting inside the house or the apartment watching a movie, just sitting there watching a movie, and the police could come in and they could arrest us both. Like, that was a fear of mine. And I don't think Indiana had sodomy laws when I came out, but there were a lot of states that did. There were a lot of states that still did, and I can remember it was something we talked about. I had friends of mine that were fired for being gay. They knew. You know, and they would have like a supervisor that would say, we really need you to tone it down at work. You're really effeminate and whatever. Okay. And then like 2 weeks after that, they'd get fired. We're just going to have to let you go. It's just not working out. Well, why not? Well, it's just not working out. We were at the time, Indiana was a no-fault state. You could fire somebody for anything. You could look right at them and say, I'm firing you because you're gay. And they could fire you because you're gay. My friend that ended up taking his life, Duke, I remember it was a huge deal. He worked for this, he worked for some alarm company, and there was like some incident that happened. I can't remember what it was, but they let him go, and they said something about it because he said, I'm contacting the ICLU, the Indiana Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU. He was like, girl, they better watch out. I'm coming from him. He never did, but he was so mad about it, rightfully so. And I can remember just thinking at that time, I just can't even imagine what do you say to somebody when you fire them for that? You know, they didn't look at him and say, like, we're firing you because you're gay. But it somehow came up. I want to say it was something like somebody saw him. It was like a family-owned business or something, and somebody saw him out at a gay bar, and it was like a bad look for the company or something like that. I can't remember. That he was a representative of the company, like, on and off the clock kind of thing. Yeah, I don't remember how it was, but scary back then. And that was in 1990. We had passed a lot of the scary times, you know. You got to be grateful for the people that came before you, that paved the road. You know, you got to be grateful for the people that... I will never know what it was like at that, well, ACT UP, I mean, that was during my time, and he talked about ACT UP in this TikTok that I was watching, which were the HIV activists, and I actually just bought an ACT UP t-shirt like 2 years ago. I think it's still, the organization is still going, but I bought an old t-shirt because I had it at the time. I cannot remember where I bought this t-shirt from. It may have been like Pride Day, but it's two sailors kissing on the front of it, and it says silence equals death. Well, I found it on another website because this guy recreates these old gay t-shirts. You know, the older I get, I kind of like, I wish I had more like gay pride stuff. And the thing is, I'm not like really into like all the rainbow stuff. I'm not against it, but I just don't, I don't, it's not like my favorite. I mean, I don't look at it and go, ooh, I'm not a big lover of rainbows kind of thing, you know? So, like, I would get a shirt that had rainbows on it and stuff like that. I actually bought several of the t-shirts at Target that are their Pride t-shirts. I bought, like, 2 or 3 of their t-shirts. I used to have more stuff. But anyway, I had that t-shirt. And so a couple years ago, 2 years ago, I think, maybe, I probably showed it in some video because I can remember I bought all these really cool t-shirts at the same time from a different company, that Swiss Navy or whatever, and none of those t-shirts fit me because I'm, you know, heavier now than I've ever been. But I got a t-shirt with Madonna on the cover of it, a t-shirt of Whitney Houston on the cover of it, Dolly Parton, I think, all kinds of cute t-shirts. But then I also, from a different company, the guy was so nice. He sent like a personalized letter and everything, like, thank you so much for purchasing this shirt. I thought, God, he must not sell many t-shirts. But I just realized like how much I have been talking tonight. But I mean, it is a vlog. But anyway, a couple people said in the comment sections, thank you guys first of all for being so nice to Michael. I really appreciate that. And today was his birthday, so go over and wish him a happy birthday on his YouTube channel. And I just like I was texting him tonight. Because somebody said in the comment section of the vlog how attractive they thought that Michael was, and then Lisa came in there and she said, just so you know, he's taken, and his wife Emily is gorgeous and she is so much fun. And so like I screenshotted it and I sent it to Michael and I said, this is adorable, or something like that, or I was like, oh, I love this is so funny, or something. And he was like, he texted me back and he said, I love Lisa. And he was like, yeah, I saw that, or something like that. But people were so nice, thank you. This foot spa place. I've never seen that. Have I seen that place before? There was a donut place over here that I miss. God, I could go for a good donut right now. But I went actually by this donut shop the other day that I used to go to back in the day, and I thought, okay, maybe they're open, because they used to be open 24 hours, and I thought maybe they've gone back to opening 24 hours now, but they didn't. Anyway, I put on that Joe Malone 254 tonight. It smells different than the last time I wore it. I wonder if it's like going bad. It's not that old though, but I love it. Do you guys love Joe Malone, the brand? It's so nice. The brand of cologne. Anyway, apparently they have candles and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's kind of pricey. I got it at Saks. It is kind of pricey, but it's not as pricey as I thought it would be. But anyway, I want to say, a couple people said in the comment section, something about me talking over Michael. Okay, my biggest character defect in life is that I interrupt and talk over people. I know that. It's horrible. I've been working on it so hard, you guys, in the last year. Like, really, really, I've been working on it hard. And I even said to him, I think it was at the beginning of the drama video, I said, if I interrupt you, you have to just tell me to shut up. Because I'm like, I know I'm bad about it, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. I just get so excited in a conversation that I'm like, oh yeah, nah. And so Michael and I are going to do more vlogs together, definitely. And I think regularly, and we may do the podcast, so I hope that will give me an opportunity to maybe work on that character defect with him. So and then somebody else said, I thought this was more of like a get to know Michael vlog, which was funny because I didn't even think of it that way. Like, to be honest with you, I thought that the majority of the people that were gonna really enjoy the video were people that had already seen Michael anyway on his channel. I don't know why I was thinking that way. But on the drama channel, I did ask a couple more questions about him and stuff. I just really thought it was gonna be us driving around having a conversation about it. I was nervous to meet him, and which I know people are like, what? I was. And I'm always nervous to meet people for the first time. And I didn't really think much about it. And I actually called him like twice. And I was like, do you know what you want to do for this video? And he was like, no, we can just, do whatever you want to do. And I was like, oh, okay. And the other thing was, I asked him, like in between the two videos, I said, I didn't even say, like, did you bring your camera? Oh, no. It was was it after the first video? Because he brought the camera out at one point. Was it in the vlog or was it in the drama video? Well, after that, I said something to him about whenever that happened. I said, I didn't even think about the fact that you might want to film a video too. And I said, if you want to film something, we can, hey, listen, just let me know. We'll keep on driving around and you can film something for your channel. And then he was like, no, we don't have to do that right now, whatever. But I felt bad, and then, so next time that Michael and I get together, we'll film something definitely for his channel. I will shut my mouth and let him talk, and I will do a video exposing Michael to the world. No, but, and talking more about him. So, and Joelle also, she did a video, and she was so excited, Joe Whale Tail, which is so funny because Michael called her like the same thing that I call her, which is Joellatal or something like that. And I told him, I said, it's Joe Whale Tail. He goes, oh really? I said, yeah, I think that might have been on the video. I don't know. So, and yes, Joelle, we're doing a video. She actually wrote me a very, very nice email, and I need to respond to it because it's been like 2 days, and I just wanted to sit down when I had some time to respond to it, more than just like, oh, thanks, you know. But we are definitely going to do a vegan tour when I come to San Diego. And she did this whole video about me shouting her out and how nice it was and all this kind of stuff. And she said in there, I'm a normal person, and she like defined what that was, meaning she wasn't stalkerish. I get that, Joelle. I know you're just an okay person that I can meet up with. But I will tell you, I was thinking about that on the way downtown to meet Michael. I was like, oh my God, what if he and his wife are serial killers? I always think that about people. I'm like, what if they're serial killers? I mean, you wouldn't know, right? And nobody really knows where he lives, so I could have just been like... Oh, by the way, in my video the other day that I mentioned at the very end, where they had found the body in the retention pond, which is like so close to where Tanya lives, it's scary. So they didn't know, like, at first I think they didn't even know what gender it was. Like, just when they pulled it out of the water, they couldn't tell, because it had decomposed so bad. And then this car behind me is swerving. Can you guys see the lights? Like, it is literally swerving like this, back and forth. And what makes me a little nervous is that once I cross this light over here, oh my God, they just swung over. Now they have their, okay, they're going that way. But once you go past this light, it goes from like 35 to 50. See, now it's all of a sudden 55, and people come speeding up behind me right here. I think it goes from 35, maybe it's 40 in there, I don't know. But anyway, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh, the body in the retention pond. So then like 2 days after that, I don't even understand how this happened, because they're not really saying a whole lot, which is very interesting to me. They're kind of, I mean, they did release his name and stuff like that. It was a 35-year-old man. But they found his truck in the retention pond as well. So what they think is that he drove his car into the retention pond, and then that's how he died. Apparently the window was down or something like that. But here's the thing that's weird about it is, this retention pond, I'm not even lying to you guys, is probably like 100 feet across and 200 feet wide. I mean, it is a small retention pond, like really small, right? And there's trees and bushes and grass right there. I mean, this is on a major road. This is often, if you live in Indianapolis, this is at like Allisonville, right before, if you're going north on Allisonville, right before you get to 116th Street, where like the AutoZone is. It's the neighborhood right before that, on the right-hand side. It's that retention pond that's like right on the corner, and it's so weird to me. I'm like, how did this guy, first of all, drive with nobody seeing tire marks up onto the curb, didn't hit any trees, didn't hit any bushes? The neighborhood is so quiet, right? It's like these condos, they're cute condos, but I'm like, it's like this condo neighborhood, and nobody in there saw his car go into the water and all this kind of stuff. And here's another car behind me, probably stalking me like that Joella tell. Like that Joella tell, they're stalking me. Anyway, yes, Joelle, I know it's Joe Whaletail. Anyway, I'm like, how did his car like get up, like end up there? Sad. And if the window is down also, it's like, and I don't know, how deep is this retention pond? I can't even imagine it's any deeper than like 5 or 10 feet. I mean, it really doesn't look that deep at all. I was blown away. That's what happened. It's very sad though. Makes me very sad. The car turned. They're not trying to get me. But I did think they were for a second. Whenever I hear stories like that, I always wonder, like what happened in those last moments, you know? I can't even imagine going through something like that and how scared you would be. Anyway, let's end this on a positive note. 3 things I'm grateful for today. 3 specific things that happened that I'm grateful for. Well, I'm grateful that I got to water my plants on the front porch, because I love doing that and it's so much fun. And I actually love just sitting there and listening in the shade underneath my front porch and listening to the water hit the ground or the patio, because I like really overflow them with water and watch them drip. I love the sound of that. It's very relaxing to me. The second thing I'm grateful for, okay, we have a bird nest in our back now. We have 2 bird nests on our house. I didn't tell Alex about the back one, but I think he already knows it. But I was sitting there when I was getting ready to film a video, and I was watching the bird, and it kept on trying to like fly, and it's like it would go and pick up a twig, and then it would fly back because it's putting it in the nest. And it was so adorable to see this bird like trying to get this like big twig up there. Just kept on trying and trying and trying. It was good. It was like inspiring. It's like, this bird won't stop. I'm not gonna stop in life either, you know? I'm just gonna keep on trying and trying and trying the best I can. And the last thing that I am grateful for is the time that I got to spend with Alex and the dogs tonight tonight in bed. Actually, it was cute because Alex said to me, he goes, I'm really happy I got to spend a lot of time with you today, because we kind of like hung out in bed, and then I go do my thing, and then we hung out in bed, and then he'd go do my thing, and it was a nice, relaxing day. Fourth thing, I'm so grateful I got to make so many videos today. I made videos on every single one of my channel, and I had a blast doing it. It was so much fun. I was like looking, I was like, do I have any time left? I think I have like a minute and 10 seconds on this before it stops, so I'm gonna try to finish before then. Another thing I'm grateful for, let's see. Great coffee today. And I ate a bunch of cheese, and it was really good. And just cheese slices while I was, and crackers, cheese slices and crackers, and it was really good. So those are all the things I'm grateful for. And I mean, those aren't all. I'm grateful for my sobriety, my life, my husband, my house, my dogs, my car, you, my best friend, so many things. I live an amazing life. I feel so blessed. So if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And put some love, kindness, compassion, tolerance, hope, faith, and courage, understanding out there in the world, forgiveness. Most importantly, love, though. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. I love you guys. A magically amazing Sunday. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! And since this is kind of already a long vlog, I should make it even longer and say, one more I love you. I love you guys. My voice cracked. I love you guys so much. And I don't ever say it that way, so I want to say it that way tonight. I love you guys so much. I really do. You make me so happy. And thank you for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!